Turning to discuss Biden's border bloodbath, prosecutors in Illinois announced yesterday an illegal alien is now being charged with murdering his wife in front of their children.
Absolutely disgusting. And prosecutors saying the suspect illegally arrived in the U.S. from Mexico about 2 weeks ago. And at that time, he was charged by the U.S. government with, quote, alien inadmissibility, given a future court date, and then just released right into the American heartland.
How nice. Joining us to discuss, Republican Senate candidate from Arizona and the sheriff of Pinal County, Sheriff Mark Lamb, plus Republican congressional candidate from California and U.S. Marine Corps veteran Kate Monroe. We thank you both for coming on. Sheriff, I'm going to start with you. When you hear stories like this, it absolutely breaks your heart. But it doesn't need to happen. It doesn't need to be this way. We could clamp down things at the border. Joe Biden could, and he does it. And I feel like this is going to happen more and more now.
Yeah, these are avoidable issues. We could have gotten around this by not letting these type of people in. You know, I don't think most Americans realize we have about 40,000 people a year that try to come across under this administration that have committed crimes in our country and have been sent back to their respective countries, or they are wanted by law enforcement in this country. This guy committed a crime. We knew he did. We allowed him to come to the country anyway, even though he had already tried before, only for him to come in and kill his wife. Somebody has to be held accountable. I think not only through elections, they should be held accountable criminally as well for their inability to protect this family.
Yeah, Kate, it's interesting because we're hearing more and more. First, we hear the Biden administration saying, no, the border's just fine. Now they're finally admitting that there's a problem, but they're still not doing anything about it. That leads many people to conjecture they're doing this because, number one, it helps boost job numbers, and we saw that happen today. And also, it could help him get more votes. It seems so incredibly obvious, but somehow this administration is sort of Teflon when it comes to that.
Well, they're Teflon because no one holds them accountable. We don't hold them accountable. We don't hold the illegal border crossers accountable. There's absolutely no repercussion for doing all the BS stuff that you see everyone doing. You wonder why illegals think they can come here because nothing happens to them when they do. How many more people have to die from the drugs that get brought over? How many more people's kids have to get killed from sex trafficking? Like Lake and Riley, this poor family lost their beautiful daughter to an illegal immigrant. It's time to not only vote differently, America, it's really time to get back to the fact that we are a republic, and we need to make people find out the hard way that messing with the American people is the wrong course of action.
Sheriff, I know you're running for Senate here, and I think a lot of Americans are confused as to why Joe Biden isn't taking executive action here. It's something we just discussed the other day, a bunch of people here in the office. Why doesn't he do anything? It's confusing. I'd love to get your take.
Well, it's confusing to the American people, but we also recognize that he himself is confused. He doesn't know what's going on. He's the victim of all the bureaucrats in Washington, D.C., and whoever's behind the curtains pulling the strings for Joe Biden and his policies, and whoever is behind those policies have shown to the American people that it's failed. So we've gone from confused to really ticked off now because we see just how bad and how big of an effect this has on us. Look, that's why I'm leaving a job that I love as the Pinal County Sheriff, and I'm taking my fight to the federal level because that's where these battles need to be fought and fixed. Because this administration, the bureaucrats, and the people that have put these things in place have completely failed the American people.
All right, Sheriff, I just have to ask you one thing. It might seem like an out there question, but it crossed my mind. Now, of course, most of us now are very familiar with the city of Eagle Pass, Texas, where so many illegal aliens and migrants come in. But we also know that this coming Monday, the city is specifically in the direct path of, get this, one of the first cities in the U.S. to experience the totality of the 2024 solar eclipse. Now, my question was, I know there'll be about 3 minutes of darkness. Is there any concern that there could be a rush on the border during that time? Any precautions being taken in case there is?
Look, I think anytime you have some type of odd thing like an eclipse, full moon, whatever, we usually take precautions. But look, it gets dark every night. It's dark for about 8 hours to 10 hours every night. We deal with it. I'm sure they'll be prepared to deal with it, even if it's only 3 minutes.
All right, that's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, good.
Good answer. Good answer.
As I would
Sheriff.
say,
Yes, thank you.
somewhat normal here in this unnormal time. Earthquakes today.
I was going to say, who knows?
Eclipses next week. Okay,
knows?
Sheriff Mark Lamb, Kate Monroe, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Have a good.
And